Sunday, June 25, 1950. North Korean troops crossed the 38th parallel into South Korean soil, setting off a horrific 3-year-long war, which would scar many people all around the world, and continue setting fire to the Cold War. Kim Il-sung had long awaited the reunification of Korea, and he had a stroke of luck after the US withdrawal from Korea in 1949. The People's Liberation Army had also secured victory in mainland China, and the Soviets had successfully tested their first nuclear bomb. The North Korean military also outnumbered the South Koreans with 140,000 troops against 100,000 troops. Stalin gave Kim the green light in the spring of 1950, and the North Koreans rushed in, aided by heavy artillery shelling. The measly army of South Korea could not handle the immense pressure of the communists, and Seoul was captured in just 3 days. A fallback line was set up along the Han River, but with inefficient communications, bridges were blown up, trapping and killing thousands of men. By day 5, the South was reduced to 22,000 men. A meeting in the UN was called, and fortunately, the USSR, with the ability to block any resolution, boycotted the meeting to protest against the recognition of the Republic of China instead of the People's Republic of China. Therefore, the UN condemned the war and asked member states to help Korea. 21 total countries sent their troops, including tiny little Luxembourg. At this point, North Korea seemed like it was going to win. They were close to pushing the South into the sea, and even defeated small American forces. Another fallback line was established, this time with UN forces, called the Busan Perimeter, where harsh fighting took place, and it was its first significant time that the South withstood the North's attacks. In total, 120,000 men died in this 1-month-long battle. A few days later, on September 10, the tide of the war changed, literally. The UN forces launched Operation Chromite, supported by more than 200 ships against North Korea's 1 patrol boat. Unsurprisingly, the UN managed to destroy the defenders at Incheon. This infiltration of North Korea's lines allowed UN forces at the Busan Perimeter to break through the exhausted enemy lines. In just 15 days after the Battle of Incheon, Seoul was liberated, and the North were forced to retreat. Their success continued further north as UN and South Korean forces marched across the 38th parallel with a confident 200,000 troops. The UN had pushed the north just miles away from the Sino-Korean border, and now, it was the South Koreans which seemed like it was going to win. Truman ordered MacArthur to be cautious and not invade China, but China was preparing to intervene in the neighboring war. They reinforced the Sino-Korean border with 300,000 men, with Deng Hua, a skilled and brilliant war strategist, in control of the best of the Chinese army. The Chinese were secret with their movement of troops and launched their offensive unexpectedly. It managed to rapidly assault the UN forces by utilizing the harsh terrain for concealment. The Chinese overwhelmed the UN forces, pushing them all the way back near Seoul. After the front line had stabilized, and the Chinese were having logistical problems, the UN launched a counteroffensive. The Chinese and North Koreans suffered heavy losses, and the UN had reversed all the progress the Chinese made in their spring offensive, causing a stalemate for the rest of the war. Finally, after 3 years of fighting, 4 million dead, and a threat of another world war, an armistice was declared in July of 1953.